Okay, what's up, guys? You guys wanted me to do a quick spread video. I can do that really quickly. I just want to say, though, I don't like trading spreads. I think that they cap out your gains. I'm not a big fan of that, and I also think they're kind of like I don't know. They're a little complicated. Not crazy, but I don't know. I don't think they're good for beginners. So I'm going to go over them really quickly. Just a spread is really just buying and selling puts or calls for the same stock that have either the same or different strike price with either the same or different expiration. I know that sounds confusing. I'll get into it in a second. Um, but really quickly, those contracts, those puts or calls that you buy, they're called legs. So you buy the leg of a spread. That's what they're called. A good example is, let's say you buy three calls with a $50 strike, and then you sell three calls with a $55 strike. That's an example of a spread. Um, so there's three main types of spreads. You've got your vertical spreads, your horizontal spreads, and your diagonal spreads. With vertical spreads, there's six categories. You've got your call spreads, which is only calls, your put spreads, which is only puts, your bull spreads, which is when you think you're going to profit when you're going to go up, bear spreads, which is when you profit when you're going to go down. You think the stock's going to go down. Credit spreads, which is when you get money for opening the spread, and then debit spreads, which is when you have to pay to open them. So there's four main types of vertical spreads. You've got your bull call spreads, which are debit spreads, your bull put spreads, which are credit spreads, your bear put spreads, which are debit spreads, and your bear call spreads, which are credit spreads. So these are pretty simple to set up. You just buy and sell two options with a different strike and the same expiration. So let's say you do, you buy, this is for the SPY. So let's say you buy these 378s and then you can sell the 380s. So this would be a call debit spread. So this would be your max loss. Your max loss would be $8. Um, yeah. So like I said, they have a predetermined outcome. So the way to determine this is the width of the spread times 100 minus the premium. So if the width is 5, then you multiply that by 100, which is 500, and if the premium is 100, then you subtract that. So the max gain or loss is 400. Yeah, so horizontal spreads are the next kind of spread. They're pretty much the same, except they differ on expiration instead of strike price. So we'll do like buy. So this would be a good example. I know it doesn't say it, but this would be a good example of a horizontal spread. You buy one at the start of a month, and then you sell. There's two types. There's four types actually. You've got your sell at the start and then buy at the end. You got for calls, or then sell at the end, buy at the start for calls, and then you can do the same for puts. They're called calendar spreads. Like I said, a little confusing, but I'm not a big fan. These are spreads that do not get affected by price movement from the stock. These are ones that get affected by implied volatility and time. So like you would want them to expire for puts. That's what you would make your money on. They do not move based on price movement. Yeah. So then the last type of spread is diagonal spreads. It's really just different strikes and different expirations. Very very different. This one's pretty complicated. I'm not a huge, like I said, I'm not a huge fan. Spreads are just complicated in general. But yeah, that diagonal spreads are just different strikes and different expirations. And then you've got your more advanced spreads. You've got your iron condors, which are call spreads and put spreads put together, and your butterflies, which are bull calls and bear calls put together. I'm not going to get into that. Like I said, spreads aren't the best to use if you're gonna trade options at the start. I would trade like at the money options. I think the least risky, just like naked options. I know they're a little bit riskier, but I just don't like capping out your gains. I'm not a huge fan of that. But yeah, there you go.